Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Well, it happened. We're out of Afghanistan. Got a picture of the very last American soldier to board the plane and take off. Right there. So, I guess we still had some night vision available that we didn't leave to the Taliban. And that seems to be employed there. He's the last guy to get on the plane and take off. So that's it. The war's over for us. It's really just beginning now for the women of Afghanistan and for the Americans left behind. Because apparently now we do leave Americans behind. That's a new thing for this country, I think. But here we are. It's really amazing. If and they talk about what a small number it is. Personally, I don't believe they have any idea how many people are left. I don't think they have any clue. Biden's Pentagon spokesman, John Kirby, said he doesn't know. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Also, Blinken took a shot. It's a small number. If you're one of those left,
right,
it doesn't feel like a small number to you.
Yeah, and I think that the fact that Anthony Blinken was the guy who addressed the nation last night speaks volumes about this administration. You'd think the president of the United States, on the day a 20-year war came to an end, might say something. No, we're going to hear about him this afternoon. But the primetime speech was the Secretary of State?
Oh, yeah, because Biden's not capable. And I think they know it, and they try to limit his appearances. And so, there are certain times of the day, I think, when they can get something out of him that's almost coherent.
Right.
And other times of the day where they can't. So, they do what they can. And do what they can.
It's a way to run a great nation.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Here's John Kirby talking about how many Americans are still there.
Yeah, I'm referring to the State Department on the numbers of Americans they're still in contact with. That's something for them to speak to.
Oh,
you see that? Military guy says, nah, give it to you. Spokesperson says, nah, go to State Department. Help us.
So let's go to Blinken. How many are still in Afghanistan?
Now, U.S. military flights have ended, and our troops have departed Afghanistan. A new chapter of America's engagement with Afghanistan has begun.
Oh.
It's one in which we will lead with our diplomacy. The military mission is over. A new diplomatic mission has begun.
Oh, good.
Of those who self-identified as Americans in Afghanistan who are considering leaving the country, we've thus far received confirmation that about 6,000 have been evacuated or otherwise departed. This number will likely continue to grow as our outreach and arrivals continue. We believe there are still a small number of Americans, under 200 and likely closer to 100, who remain in Afghanistan.
Yeah, we don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
No idea. And really, I think they're talking about Kabul. There might be 200 left in Kabul. How many are in Jalalabad and Kandahar and everywhere else in that hideous country? How many people have been left behind? They don't. And again, they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah. There was also circulating last night that there were a lot of military dogs, service dogs. And it was the most heartbreaking images of these crates with the dogs at the hangar. And it was like, are we seriously leaving them behind as well? There's a veterans group that works with the dogs. Somehow they're apparently getting them back over here. So that's good to hear. I mean, it's just leaving those poor dogs behind. I mean, that's not good either. Because, I mean, they're like people were making the case. I mean, these are service members. I realize it's not on the same level as human beings. I am not saying that. I'm saying that it just, that image just shows. We come up with so many images of how this administration is letting down everyone, man and beast, with this quick withdrawal.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling that we've left people behind, we've left dogs behind, we've left weaponry behind to the tune of $85 billion worth. How could you... And I love the fact that Biden keeps saying, I stand behind my decision. I stand... Okay, so you're standing behind perhaps the worst decision ever made? At least in military history, American military history. This has got to be, well, since George Custer. Since General Custer in his last stand at Little Bighorn. This is the worst decision since then. And I'm standing behind it. Okay. Good luck with that, because, wow, everybody knows. What a debacle, what a disaster this is.
And what does that mean? I'm standing behind it. Okay, well, you know what? Put your money where your mouth is and resign. Okay?
Yeah. Hi. I don't know how he expects that to turn around when he keeps saying that they did nothing wrong, that they've done this better than anybody could have done it. It's just really amazing. And speaking of dogs, there's another thing this administration lies about all the time, and they were asked about that because the dogs in the White House continually bite the Secret Service members.
Yeah.
Well, we were told that, that happened once. That was one time, and the dog got surprised by somebody who walked into the room that they were unfamiliar with, and so it got a little nip on somebody's heels.
Little nip.
So they're probably going to stay, in Delaware a lot of the time. But so Psaki was actually asked about that.
Oh, wow.
Her feet held to the fire about that because now everybody knows these dogs have bitten people every single day. Every day.
That question on the topic is, yesterday the conservative transparency group, Judicial Watch, released Secret Service records on dog bites involving the first dog, Major. One email said that Secret Service agents were bitten every single day for 8 days from March 1st to March 8th, and that the White House visitor was as well. At a March 9th briefing, you only described one biting incident to us and described the dogs as being whisked back to Delaware on a pre-planned trip to visit family friends.
Oh, pre-planned, yeah.
Obviously, that is not the world's most important story, but it is significant because we expect honest information even for minor stories. So can you explain to us why there was a kind of misleading account presented to us? And if we can't get honest information about minor stories, why should we have faith in the administration's account for larger issues like Afghanistan?
I know you do keep the dog in the news in the briefing room, so thank you for that.
Okay, so her first reaction is to belittle him. I know you keep the dog in the news room. Thank you for that. Shut up.
It's not the dog that the story.
Yeah, that's not what he's asking. He's not asking really about the dog. He's asking about your credibility and what a lying sack of crap you are. That's what he's asking about.
As we've stated previously, Major has had some challenges adjusting to life in the White House.
Yeah, that's, again, not the question.
He has been receiving
we don't care about
training,
that.
as well as spending some time in Delaware, where the environment is more familiar to him and he is more comfortable.
Again,
I don't have any additional specifics,
not
but
the
I think
question.
that speaks to where Major is located, to be fully transparent
That wasn't
in your ongoing
the
interest
question.
in the dog. Go ahead.
And she moves on. No, the question was, why are you such a lying sack of crap?
Yeah.
That's the question. You can't even tell us the truth about the stupid dogs in the White House. How can we be expected to believe anything else you ever say about the really big issues? You can't even tell the truth about the dog biting Secret Service agents? Really?
And a White House visitor. I want to know which visitor got bitten, too.
I mean, there's Bitegate now. They've covered up Bitegate.
Bitegate.
And there's no reason for it.
No.
Why?
No, and I think it's a fair question. I mean, if we
It's
can't
a great question.
believe you on the little stories.
How do we believe you on Afghanistan or anything else? And of course we can't. His point is really well taken. They're liars. They're just despicable liars. And we can't believe anything they say about anything.
Wait, you're saying all the way to the top we have liars in this administration?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. I could have sworn less than 2 weeks ago this president of the United States told George Stephanopoulos that we were going to get every American out. Are you saying that's not accurate either?
No, when did he say that?
What?
I mean, do you have any
I mean, it was like
proof
4 or
to
5 days
back
ago
that up?
or so, even more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, here's what he told George Stephanopoulos.
All troops are supposed to be out by August 31st. Even if Americans and our Afghan allies are still trying to get out,
Good question.
they're going to leave?
Yep.
We're going to do everything in our power to get all Americans out and our allies out.
Does that mean troops will stay beyond August 31st if necessary?
It depends on where we are and whether we can ramp these numbers up to 5,000 to 7,000 a day coming out. If that's the case, they'll all be out.
Because we've got like 10 to 15,000 Americans in the country right now, right? And are you committed to making sure that the troops stay until every American who wants to be out is out?
Yes. Oh.
How about our Afghan allies? We have about 80,000.
So that was a lie.
Well, that's not the
Is
estimate.
that too high?
That's too high.
How
The
many?
estimate we're giving is somewhere between 50 and 65,000 folks,
that we're
total,
giving.
counting their families.
Does the commitment hold for them as well?
The commitment holds to get everyone out that, in fact, we can get out and everyone should come out.
Sure.
And that's the objective. That's what we're doing now. That's the path we're on, and I think we'll get there.
So Americans should understand that troops might have to be there beyond August 31st.
No, Americans should understand that we're going to try to get it done before August 31st.
But if we don't, the troops will
If
stay.
we don't, we'll determine at the time who's left.
What?
And
And if there are American forces, if there's American citizens left, we're going to
There are.
stay till we get them all out.
Huh.
We're going to stay there
Wow.
and get them all out. Okay,
Okay,
well.
one lie after another there. One lie after another.
And George even tried. And
Yeah. Trying to get him there,
help us.
but no.
So we're going to get them all out. We're going to stay till we get them all out.
I give you my word as a Biden.
And that's obviously golden. His word as a Biden is obviously golden. Okay, well, so there's the figure of 10 to 15,000 Americans in Afghanistan. They, by their own admission, they have evacuated maybe 6,000. That leaves 4,000 at least still there. So where are they coming up with this 200 number? Wow, their numbers just don't add up. And they don't care.
No.
They don't care.
We're going to be hearing about, I'm afraid, Americans behind the borders of Afghanistan for a long time.
Yep. And hostage situations. And still, the administration, you know, what can you say about them? Except, basically, you don't care. They don't care.
They don't care.
They
They want it to go away.
don't
They're
care.
probably, honestly, this administration is probably rooting for a very busy rest of the hurricane season. Please.
Yeah.
One a week. We're good with that. Whatever. Something to put on the screen besides Afghanistan, please. Mm-hmm. And that's of course where the president goes when, I don't know, have the minions do the press conference on the war. I'm going to go hang out with FEMA.
Yeah.
Make it stop.
Yeah. I don't, I mean,
We're out of words, man.
yeah. And of course, at the FEMA press conference, he did some absolutely bizarre things. One of the bizarre things he did was show again that he's just a racist. I love how they toss that around with Trump all the time without any evidence whatsoever. But this guy provides it all the time. Wasn't it at the FEMA thing where he was talking about his advisor?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah. Hi.
We're waiting for a few more people to get on, but we're going to get started.
Oh.
If that's okay with you all.
Is it okay with
Thanks
us?
for joining me. I'm here.
You're the president.
The FEMA director is on. FEMA director Criswell, she's on. And I'm here with
Jeez.
with my senior advisor and
Yeah.
boy who knows Louisiana very, very well.
boy
man. And New Orleans and
Louisiana.
Cedric Richmond.
I bet Cedric was pretty happy to be called boy. He just called a black man boy.
47 years old.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I mean, for any grown man, why would you call them boy when they're 47 years old? But especially a black man. That is unbelievable.
There's so much going on in that
Unbelievable.
video.
Yeah, there is.
The fact that 4 people didn't bother to show up.
Uh-huh.
And the fact that he asked permission. Is it okay if we go ahead and start? The fact that he still hasn't learned his FEMA director's name. Just keep moving. Just keep moving, dude. Stop. He keeps doing this with every of these FEMA things. He keeps getting hung up. And then the boy comment. I mean, yeah. It's just
I know
so much.
And it's not like it's the first thing.
So if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Oh wow.
The other portion is a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to use, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccination at the Walgreens or at the particular store.
Okay, right.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and clean and nice-looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
Storybook, man.
In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
So it's not like it's the first time and you say, okay, that was just a little slip on his part. No, the guy does it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. It's just part of who he is. What did you want to see in the
can we
FEMA?
play play through the beginning, because he keeps doing this at every FEMA briefing. He cannot get Deanne Criswell's name out. Deanne Criswell, okay? That's what he's going for here.
It's a tough one.
Now,
you got to say Deanne.
And I will say that
That's 2 syllables.
I'll pass people in the hall that I see every now and then, and I'm just like, hey, what's up, dude? You know, you just don't say their name. Don't try it if you're not positive. But he keeps trying this. Play this first part again, please, Rob.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Deanne Criswell.
We're waiting for a few more people to get on, but we're going to get started.
Okay.
If that's okay with you all.
It's okay.
And thanks for joining me. I'm here. The FEMA director is on. FEMA director Criswell, she's on.
Oh, he got it. Oh, he did get it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
FEMA
right, cool.
director Criswell.
Okay, yeah, he got there.
Didn't get her first name, obviously, but but he got her last name.
I'm glad. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, how about that?
Didn't catch that the first time.
That's terrific.
He's good.
He was struggling with it though, and it's probably written right there.
Yeah,
somewhere
he was like staring
at
the wall, like.
Yeah, like okay, what is it?
Director.
What's her name? Director.
Which one is she?
Does
too many boxes up there. I don't
President, my boss.
President, my boss.
So you see how often that happens to him. President, my boss. He couldn't remember Barack Obama's name. Wow. Oh, and then there was the Mormon guy I ran against. What was his name?
Oh, he's the governor guy.
The governor, some Mormon guy. They don't dance and they make romance. And
oh, I see how many kids they have. They make romance.
All right. Last night, Secretary of State Blinken. Now, is this instead of?
We've already played that.
Yeah, this is the same. This is the same announcement we already heard.
Yeah, but I mean, Afghanistan. I mean, you sent this horrific video. The new Afghanistan is underway at the.
And they're supposed to be. They keep telling us,
kinder and gentler,
we're the
right?
kinder. This is a new Taliban. This isn't the Taliban you know from long ago. Oh, no, we've grown up since then. Really? And this is interesting because if you're going to do this, why are you in the camera shot? You know? Here's it's like 40 seconds or something of them. The Taliban busts into the TV station in Kabul. And takes control of the broadcast with their news anchor.
I see your point. If you want him to say something...
You want him to say something nice about you.
Right.
Why are you standing behind him with guns?
Make it look genuine to the people watching on TV.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Weird. It's just weird. Here it is. He's so scared he can't even speak English.
Right. Scared the English out of him. Hey, look. Trigger finger placement, though, as we've pointed out, is a lot better now with them.
Much better since the CIA training.
Now, do we know what he's saying? It's a peace. Look, they're in the peace studio.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's talking about how great they are. And there they are standing behind him with guns.
Yeah.
There were 8 of them And then I guess he debated with one of them, but I think his debate was probably, I'll bet he lost the debate. I'm guessing.
You're right.
They had guns pointed at him. Is that weird, though? Why wouldn't you stand in front of him off camera and have the guns pointed at him?
No, you're right.
Read this.
You're right. I just don't know what the purpose of that...
The whole thing. It's just weird. And one of the things he was supposed to tell them was, don't be afraid, Afghanistan.
What?
Don't be afraid. Never mind these guys who were telling me to say that with the AK-47s behind me.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them.
Because see, look, this dude, he's got his finger, it's not on the trigger. Don't be afraid of him.
Right, he's fine. He's fine. He knows gun safety.
Can you imagine living in that world?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I can't, actually. No, I can't. The only reason they're armed is because they're afraid of me. I could jump in and kill them with my bare hands anytime I want. And so this is for their own protection, and that's why. These are really nice guys.
There's the Afghanistan that Joe Biden left behind.
Yep.
And don't forget, 2 days ago, Alyssa Milano on Twitter, she tweeted out, quote, I'm proud of POTUS in the incredible job he's doing. He's the right person for the job in this moment in history, end quote. That woman's delusional. Yeah.
The butt stupidity just doesn't stop.
I mean, he's doing so well. Honestly,
I
would ask her, what's one thing he's doing? One thing. Just give me one thing he's doing well.
What part of this has gone well? You're saying that in the midst of this catastrophe in Afghanistan. That's what you have to say. Why don't you ask these women about the great job he's doing? There's some women on a bus, and they're scared out of their minds. I guess they didn't see the broadcast.
Oh, they didn't see. Oh, because they were on the bus.
Don't be afraid, because they were on the bus.
They're at the airport, hoping to fly out at some point if they're not killed first or kidnapped. She's praying. Look at that.
President Biden, President of the United States, please save us our families, save us our lives. We don't know what to do there. Please help us. Please help our families. We don't know. We are in danger. It is many days that we are outside the HKIA and we didn't get access. What should we do? Please save us.
So desperate that they're making a video for Joe Biden to hear.
Yep. And that buffoon, that's falling on deaf ears. Sorry, see ya. We have a August 31st deadline. We got to be out of there.
So those women haven't gotten on a flight yet, but a convicted rapist.
He got on one.
He was previously deported. Got on an evacuation flight. He got to Dulles.
And good for the security at Dulles to at least stop him from going into our country scot-free.
Which apparently not the case with all of these groups that are landing. We've seen reports that they'll just turn groups loose and be like, all right, just keep going. Just keep going. Wait,
why not? That's what they do at the southern border. They don't care. They don't care.
But yeah, you're right. Kudos to security for catching that.
Yeah. At least somebody found him.
But these women,
somebody noticed,
sitting there near the tarmac, hoping a plane will take them anywhere but there.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
It's a really heart-wrenching. Just the gains that they've made as women in Afghanistan have been incredible over the last 18 years. They're going to school now. They've got jobs. They can leave their home. They can drive. They can do all kinds of things. Well, they could, but now all that's gone. Except what we've seen, though, is this new and improved Taliban. So I'm sure everything's going to be fine.
Oh, the new and improved Taliban that went and killed a folk singer just because...
Yeah, well, there's no music in Afghanistan.
Oh, that's right. So there's no role for you.
And apparently he was playing music. So their hands were tied, Keith. They had to kill him. They're killing folk singers because they've banned music. That doesn't sound like a kinder, gentler Taliban to me. Does it to you? Maybe my definition of kinder and gentler is just too stringent. Maybe I need to open it up a little bit.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Well, all right. I mean, enforcing a no music rule with the death penalty, it's reasonable. It's reasonable.
So it's not just like no 80s music.
No, it's not.
It's
that
all
would be,
music.
That would be a good law.
I would almost be...
No 80s would be...
Okay.
That makes sense. but
we
it's
can carve
not.
out an exception for NXS. But other than that, no 80s music.
And maybe Def Leppard. I would allow Def Leppard. You're not a fan?
Not with my
Okay.
sect. Okay, there's no carve out for Def Leppard.
Well, that's why our sects are at war right now, because you're not for Def Leppard, and my sect is.
I see.
So.
Yeah, it's a civil war brewing right there. I'm sorry, Afghanistan.
Meanwhile, Taliban fighters entering a hangar in Kabul airport and dressed.
Oh no!
As
they
are in American military garb.
No!
Isn't that nice?
We're here right now with the Taliban as they enter into what was only minutes ago. It was an American-controlled portion of the military airport. Now they're taking over.
And there we are.
Jeez, look at that.
Come and look at your presents.
That is unbelievable.
I mean, we did apparently disable 150 helicopters, so that only leaves thousands upon thousands more. So we got 150 disabled permanently that they won't be able to use. So that'll
really.
That's what I read. So that'll show them. We got 150 out of how many?
Because that left them with what?
We had the chart yesterday.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We should keep that because that's going to keep coming up.
Oh, it's what? I set a copy far back against the wall there, under your guitar. Look down under the guitar. Is it over there? Oh, it's not over there, is it?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Yes.
This is a partial list. Yeah. Here's a partial list. No, that's not. That's not it.
What is it? Then hold it up. Let me see what that is.
Those are the death numbers.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Vaccines.
Oh, shoot. Well, there you go. It's on the screen. Thank you, Robert.
Nice job, Rob.
Thank you.
Okay, so they still have 22,000 armored vehicles. 634 of those. I think those are the ones that are impervious to the explosives.
Okay.
Then they got 42,000 trucks. 42,000 trucks!
Man. And SUVs.
They could open themselves up a really nice used car dealership.
Right?
They really could, and make some cash on the side there.
Yeah. This has only been driven on desert miles.
By old ladies.
Yeah, that's right.
On Friday. 64,000 machine guns.
Oh,
and keep in mind, they only have around 600,000 small arms weaponry that we left behind. So that's not too bad. It's not like we left them a million guns and pistols and rifles.
I mean, these holdouts in Afghanistan, these regions where the Taliban is not. They just cut off communications to one. I mean, look at their disposal. These places are going to fall instantly. So they disabled how many? 150, I said. Well, there's a.
Yeah.
I don't see.
They still have.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I think they still have 33 operating Blackhawks. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's the Blackhawks, and then there's one right above it.
Not good.
Kind. I mean, it's
not good at all.
They virtually have every kind of weaponry you can possibly imagine. We just didn't leave them nukes. Although I'll bet we'll hear about that too sometime.
I was just please
would not surprise
don't
me.
jinx
I know
this.
I know.
Who knows?
It's true. Who knows? Great question from Tobin for Pope though. It says after giving the Taliban $85 billion worth of weapons and vehicles, is the United States now one of the top state sponsors of terror in the world?
Oh boy.
Maybe even number one? That's an
excellent
question. Jeez. Oh, that's an excellent question. I hate it, but it's an excellent question. Wow. I never thought I'd see this day. I mean, who did? I don't think any American living would have ever believed this could happen.
Of all the scenarios you could dream up.
Yeah.
After 9/11 and we
keep
invaded.
saying this. It just keeps getting worse, right? It just keeps getting worse. This administration is so bad, there is nothing that's beneath them.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, we just fixed everything. Took a minute, and I think they're going to talk about me here in a sec.
Pat Gray returns on the Blaze Radio Network.
Right.
So over the last 6 minutes...
Yeah, we just fixed it. Everything's fine now.
Well, I mean...
So we took a 6-minute break and fixed everything that needed to be
You don't have to say we. You don't have to be generous with your praise.
I fixed it.
Pat
I fixed it. So you're welcome.
It was good.
You're welcome.
We just stood back and watched, and now, believe it or not, when you open your front door, the world's been fixed.
The world's completely different now.
Where are the fireworks?
That's good. Look at that, man.
Must be another Jeffy from when I wasn't here.
Corby is on top of the button game this morning.
He is. Yes, he is. 888, if only that were true. Wouldn't it be great if you could just take 6 minutes and fix the world? It'd be great. I'd love that.
You know, you could save 15% or more in 15 minutes.
If I'm a Geico insurance or whatever, if I go to Geico.
So in other words, it takes a whole 15 minutes to save 15% or more on your car insurance. Well, it's good advertising.
You can save 15% a lot quicker than that. Let me see the...
That's right.
Let me see the thing again.
Yeah.
Put up the sign.
Yeah. Look at that.
Now through Labor Day, 15% off with the promo code NOVAX at patheadshop.com.
Yeah. See.
So order the "Don't Vax Me, Bro" T-shirt. Does 15% off only apply to that? Or
only to that. Yeah. Okay. Through Labor Day. Yep.
All right.
You buy those for Christmas, squirrel them away for a few months. You're good to go.
Yeah. Great.
So, I mean, you could save 15% on your car insurance, or you could save it on a "Don't Vax Me, Bro" T-shirt. I mean, your call.
This is a way better deal.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take 15 minutes to do that.
And it only takes 6 minutes to save the world.
Sure.
Good job.
Got some tweets here. Proud Mr. Graybeard watched part of the Blinken speech. Watch his eyes. The dude doesn't blink.
That's true. He doesn't.
This was also the most cold and unattached piles of drivel I've heard.
Yeah.
He's like that.
Right. You got to have some sort of blinking going on, right? That's just natural. But the opposite, right? If you're lying, isn't that just you're blinking insanely, right?
You
just keep going. And so it's so funny this tweet came in because I was thinking during that Stephanopoulos thing, watch Joe Biden's eyes when he answers this first question. Watch this. Rob, we can play this.
We're going to do everything in our power to get all Americans
Isn't that
out.
intense? Like 10 or 12 blinks.
Before he even got a word out.
Yeah. We're going to do everything we can to get everybody out, and then it proves.
And look how he did everything. I mean, what else could have been done? He put it all out there on the field.
Yeah, he's the right man.
Yeah, for
at this time.
Right time.
At the right time. Thank you for that,
place.
Alyssa Milano.
Man, is she stupid. Jeffy's 18 Spoons tweets, we had to be lied to repeatedly for 4 years that Trump was racist, so we would ignore Biden's actual racism. Except we don't ignore it. But the other media does. I mean, you will never see him be called a racist on CNN or MSNBC, that's for sure. Jimmy Dimples tweets, Biden stands behind his decision because if he stands in front of it, he's going to get run over and flattened. Joe's 6-second delay. The U.S. government says there might be 200 Americans left in Afghanistan. Or could it be 100? To get an accurate count of people needing rescue, can you please spin the wheel of cancel? And let's go with that number.
I will cancel.
Wow. And I thought they were in touch with everybody via text message or phone calls or emails. And still they don't know. They don't know who's there or why. Interesting. And then they turned over the names of those students who are going to the American University in Afghanistan. Turned those names over to, we can't get you out, but we gave your names to the Taliban and they'll take care of you.
Unreal.
What?
You cannot write a more absurd, evil story.
You just can't. Wait, what? You gave my name to the Taliban. That does not show you that they trust them or they don't care about the students. And I think probably both are true. But it's very strange to me that they're openly trusting and quoting the Taliban and depending on them and abiding by their timeline.
And remember, the Taliban said, you can have security of the whole city of Kabul. And that would have, a lot of these names then would have been, it would have been door to door with American troops saying, okay, we have this address from the State Department, says, hey, you're coming with us to the airport.
Biden said no.
And Biden said, no, we just need the airport. I swear, I can't.
Yeah, I know. We have this video to show you just how changed the Taliban are
This is graphic.
This is very graphic. Know that going in. It's really disturbing. They are hanging people from a moving helicopter, presumably an American interpreter, from a Black Hawk helicopter. This is amazing.
Oh, God. Oh.
And I guess this is a warning to people?
Yeah, I mean, they're flying it wherever
Seemingly.
we can see.
Yeah. I heard yesterday that they were doing this, and I thought, oh, come on, are you sure about that? Are they really? I mean, I thought that they were trying to actually show the world that they are different. No, they're not. They're doing the same kind of stuff, except that they have better equipment to do it because we left it for them. So they got that going for them. Bill Maher talking about what real oppression looks like, and we just saw what it really looks like. And every once in a while, as we've discussed multiple times on this show, Bill Maher will actually use common sense. And lately, he's been really pretty good. I wonder if something snapped in him because they have gotten so bizarre on the other side of the spectrum that even he can't abide it. And he's got to speak out against some of this stuff. And he's talking about real oppression here.
And finally, new rule, blind hatred of America is just as blinkered as blind love. And we Americans should really get some perspective about where we live. Watching go down in Afghanistan, I was reminded lately of every conversation I've ever had with an immigrant, almost all of which, if we got to really talking, included the notion, oh, you people have no idea. All you do is about and badmouth your own country. But if you knew about the country I came from, you'd stop on your own. Now, right? I have never been a rah-rah America type, and in fact have often made fun of Republicans in the past for being overly sentimental, because they're the ones who tear up at military flyovers and get a boner when the governor of South Dakota rides into a biker rally dressed like a painting of Teddy Roosevelt. John Boehner used to cry like weep, at the drop of a hat if anything reminded him of what a star-spangled miracle this country is. If there was a little flag in his club sandwich, he'd lose it.
That's true. And that's fine.
It's just
that's
in
okay.
the conservative DNA to have this dewy-eyed, sloppy,
we love the country.
love for their country.
So sue us.
That often renders them incapable of acknowledging its problems.
No.
That's how we got the 2013 Supreme Court ruling.
We're completely capable of recognizing that Democrats have often screwed things up for our country, have often done evil things. And in almost every case, by the way, it has been Democrats. All the crap that they talk about, the racism, the slavery, the Jim Crow laws, all of that stuff, that's all Democrats. That's all Democrats and the militant wing of the Democrat Party, the KKK. Okay, so no, I'll acknowledge that all day long. All right, what else did he have to say?
Gutting the Voting Rights Act? Not because John Roberts is a monster, but because people like him tend to over-romanticize America.
Oh,
he
yeah,
thought
John
the
Roberts.
South was ready for the honor system.
Please.
They weren't. But...
idiots.
But liberals, as usual in this era, have now gone too far in the other direction. They under-romanticize America. They have no perspective. Last week, the Taliban murdered a comedian. His name was Nizar Muhammad, and he made up funny songs on TikTok. They forced him into a car, tortured, and then executed him. A comedian. A thing like that hits a little close to home for me. I've had 2 presidents up my ass. This one warned me to stop speaking my mind.
They need to watch what they say, watch what they do, and this is not a time for remarks like that. There never is.
George Bush.
And this one sued me over a joke.
Donald Trump.
and as president called me every name in the book for the crime of predicting he'd do exactly what he did.
This crazy Bill Maher, this idiot comedian, these people are sick. He's a crazy lunatic. He's a whack job. He is a total nut job.
That was a good montage.
Yeah, it was. Pause it for a second. And you know he's proud of that, too. President of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Calling him out like that. He loves that.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely loves it. It makes him relevant. And there's more.
Yeah, I mean, neither experience was pleasant. But I didn't have to worry about being dragged till I'm dead behind a Toyota Tacoma.
Thank you.
Have a little perspective about the stuff we howl about here.
Yep.
I'm sorry your professor said something you didn't like. That won't be a problem with the Taliban because you're not allowed to go to school. In Saudi Arabia, grown women can be jailed for doing the kind of things we think of as routine without the permission of a male guardian. China rounds you up if you're the wrong religion and puts you in camps. More children in Burkina Faso work than are in school. Only 5% of Burundians have electricity. The homicide rate in Honduras is 8 times what it is here. The inflation rate in Venezuela is 2,719%. The Philippines, in the last 5 years, has put to death 27,000 low-level drug dealers. My old job. In North Korea, people starve to death. The only people who starve here are doing it for a role. And the only people who have no water live in California. If you think America is irredeemable, turn on the news or get a passport and a ticket on one of those sketchy airlines that puts its web address on the plane. There's a reason Afghan mothers are handing their babies to us.
Right. Right.
And we should take them. Americans, right now, should take in Afghan refugees into their homes and into their neighborhoods. And I'm sure everyone who just clapped is thinking the same thing. Yes, someone who isn't me should definitely do that.
Pause it for a second. And that includes him, by the way. Right. Yeah, I'm guessing Bill has a little extra room around the house.
Oh,
he can
yeah.
maybe fit a few refugees in it. But he's not going to do that either.
If every celebrity would just open up one wing of their mansions.
Right. We could accommodate an awful lot of Afghan citizens. All right, let's see the rest.
But that doesn't make us the bad guys. We're not the bad guys. Oppression is what we were trying to stop in Afghanistan. We failed, but any immigrant will tell you we've largely succeeded here, and yet the overriding thrust of current woke ideology is that America is rotten to the core, irredeemably racist from the moment it was founded, and so oppressive, sexist, and homophobic, we can't find a host for the Oscars or Jeopardy. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you heard the new Jeopardy guy is out because he said boobies in 2014. And this is where your new Afghani roommates that you took in will prove so valuable because they'll turn to you and say, have you people lost your minds? Have you? Have you ever heard of honor killings, public beheadings, throwing gay men off of roofs, arranged marriages to minors, state-sanctioned wife beating, female genital mutilation, marriage by capture? Because we have. What's the lesson of Afghanistan? Maybe it's that everyone from the giant dorm room session that is the internet should take a good look at what real oppression looks like. Ask your maid. Ask your Uber driver. Ask the Asian woman giving you a massage. She'll tell you this place is Shangri-La, and not just because she works in a place called Shangri-La. America may not be the country of your faculty lounge and Twitter dreams, but no one here tries to escape by hanging on to an airplane.
Thank you.
No.
That's for sure.
We wait till we're inside the plane to fight. And then only because they cut off the beverage service.
Yeah. Our problems here, even our problems are completely different than most of the rest of the world. He makes some really good points there. Yeah. And it's interesting to listen to the reaction of the audience who's so confused that he's actually saying good things about the United States of America. They don't know how to act. When it comes to a line that a conservative would appreciate and love, they're like, what? Wait, okay, I guess I'm supposed to. All right, okay, yeah. And they'll instantly whoop and holler for, saying that the South is racist or whatever nonsensical liberal talking point you're gonna use, and they'll eat that up. But when it comes to saying good things about the United States of America, they're like, oh wow, am I in the wrong studio?
Yeah,
I don't know how to act.
And to his point about how woke the left is and how ridiculous they are now, we're going to find out later, I hope, how the Billboard music charts are racist.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's the kind of stuff that we concern ourselves with in America.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Social Security, that's also racist. We're going to learn that, fun fact.
Okay. Well, good. I'm looking forward to that.
To make Bill Maher's point. Some great stuff there, and I appreciate it. We'll
get to that coming up in just a few minutes on Pat Gray Unleashed. Thanks for being with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Keith, do you still have that tweet that Alyssa Milano tweeted? Was it yesterday she tweeted this?
Let's see, on Sunday.
Okay.
On Sunday.
So Sunday, she is still thinking Joe Biden's doing a good job.
Yeah, here it is verbatim.
All right.
I'm proud of POTUS and the incredible job he's doing. He's the right person for the job in this moment in history. Hashtag I stand with Biden.
Wow, could there be a statement any more ridiculous than that one? Could you say something more butt stupid than what she just said? I don't know that you could. The colossal failure of Joe Biden in every aspect of his presidency. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. You start at the border. The border is worse than it's ever been. And even according to their sensibilities on the left, it's not good because unaccompanied children, that whole situation is worse than under Trump, and the media went ape crap over that. Now it's worse. So the border's a mess. The economy, we have a labor shortage such that businesses are shutting down. They can't even staff their shifts. The worst inflation in decades. We've got shortages of goods and services in the United States of America, like a third world nation. He canceled the Keystone Pipeline. He canceled drilling in Alaska. He's taken us from energy independence, which we had achieved for the first time in 60 years, to being energy dependent again. His handling of Cuba is despicable. We had an incredible opportunity there to help Cuba experience some freedom and get out from underneath the oppression of their communist regime. Nope. Didn't extend a single hand to help them out. In fact, we did quite the opposite. People who were trying to float over here on rafts and pickup trucks, we sent them back or sent them somewhere else. Geez, gas prices have spiked. They're the highest they've been in decades, in a decade at least. You got that whole scandal with his son Hunter that gets worse every day, and they find another computer about every other week. You got his sexual assault allegations that have never been taken care of. the media continues to just ignore Tara Reid and everybody else who was ever harassed by him. I mean, you had that little girl admit that Joe Biden pinched her nipple, and nobody cared about that. Nobody cared. You got the cognitive decline that is happening every day right before our very eyes. And of course, then there's Afghanistan, the worst military disaster in American history, and shaping up to be the biggest foreign policy disaster in American history. On what has he done well? What is there to be proud of? With a record like this, so far, he is very much on track to be the worst president in the history of the United States of America. And as we said last week, I mean, even some of CNN's anchors and reporters have bailed on him. They can't carry his water. Because, as I said last week, there's no way you can carry an ocean. You just can't carry an ocean. Little too much water there to carry. He is an absolute disaster, a catastrophe on every issue. So, I don't know what presidency she's talking about, but it certainly isn't the same one I'm looking at.
But you went through all of the disasters of this administration over the course of an 8-year presidency. I'm sorry, hold on. No,
8 months.
Less than 8 months.
That's right. Less than 8 months.
I'm bad at math, y'all. My bad.
Jeez. That's right. 8 months.
Not even. September 20th will be 8 months.
My gosh.
I mean, it's not even September yet.
Tomorrow is.
Yeah, okay.
Unbelievably.
Don't get me on the technicalities.
But the only reason I know today is August 31st is because we've cleared out of Afghanistan.
And we cleared out with 60 seconds to spare, too.
Yeah. Yeah, the last guy hopped on the plane with about a minute to spare.
Mm-hmm.
So, see ya. Bye-bye, all you Americans that couldn't get to the airport. Good luck. Hey, you know what? We left your name with the Taliban, so give them a call.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think so.
There are no words.
How would you feel if you were left behind in Afghanistan? How would you feel? I'd be a little disgruntled, I think, with my country.
That's the word.
A little disgruntled.
Disgruntled with my country.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd feel a little betrayed, if you will. A little betrayed. Especially if I went over there to help out, assist the military, be an advisor or a support system for the military, because that's probably what most Americans were doing over there, was being a support system for the military, working for, general contractors and defense contractors who have those kinds of jobs. And otherwise, what are you doing in Afghanistan as an American? I don't know, unless you got family members there. I guess that's possible.
So the question is, does he make it 4 years? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does he resign?
No.
Is he impeached?
I don't think he resigns. He could be impeached.
When does that process start?
That's possible. Well, I mean, the talk has already begun. So the talk has to start before the action occurs. And at least the talk has started. People are asking him to resign. Even Lindsey Graham, who's a good friend of his, has told him, has said that he should be impeached or resign because this is such a disaster that there's no avoiding it. You're derelict in your duties, and you need to get out. But again, then the situation doesn't get any better because you've got Kamala Harris. So it's not that that's a great alternative, but at least he'd be out of the way. And whoever's pulling his strings behind him would...
No, they wouldn't.
Probably still be there too.
I was gonna say
they'll probably still
it's
be there too.
the same group, and the same person, George Soros, that would be there with him or Kamala.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
You're looking for ways. Come on, you're going to make the apocalypse fun, right?
Yes, I'm looking for something to maybe take the edge off a little bit because, I know this little kid will take the edge off a little bit. First, let me show you the Jim Cantore in Louisiana during the hurricane yesterday, and I think the day before. He was standing out, trying to brace himself.
I'd forgotten he was wearing a baseball helmet, Pat.
Oh, yeah, and wearing a baseball helmet. Just in case any flying debris happens to hit him in the head, he's prepared. We got this kid in Louisiana who's reporting from the scene now.
Hi, from Walker, Louisiana. And as you can see, it is really rainy and windy. And the wind.
His sister is in the background doing a
recreating the scene from Cantori.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Good stuff.
Very funny. I love the guys just walking casually behind him.
Yeah, let's see that if you can do it. Yeah.
As he's bracing himself.
And that's one of four, by the way. That was brought out here. There's one. You can see one that's continues to play all the way across the street. And that's
guy behind him, just standing there.
of air that has a much smaller area.
See, that's why you can make the apocalypse fun again. Right there. Right there.
Yeah. These
By the way,
weathermen out there.
We were just talking about the border situation a minute ago, and the fact that last time they found out about the unaccompanied children being kept in these shelters, they went completely. They went ape crap crazy, and the media coverage, however, now on the border disaster is down 96%. They're doing about 4% of the coverage that they were doing on it. Now, that's understandable during the Afghanistan situation, but this was a couple of weeks ago before the Afghanistan pullout began. It was down 96%. It's probably down 100% now because I don't ever see a peep about the border now. They just don't care.
Well, you know how to make that a news story again. Then you just call the press and tell them that Trump is actually still president.
Yeah.
And tell them that Trump put kids in cages. And now all of a sudden they'll care again.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Because I thought they cared about the children. I thought they cared. What kind of freak would not care about the children? Especially the 12-year-old boy children. Oh!
You know what? Mexico and these Central American countries have a lot of room in them. Now that so many have moved up north to us, so maybe you find a place for Afghan citizens. Yeah. So you just it's like you tier up,
Right.
You move up from Afghanistan, Central America, and then you move your way up here later.
Yeah. Once we know that you're not a terrorist.
Baby steps.
And we're not. I guess we're not supposed to worry about any of that either. Screening the people that are coming here from Afghanistan, we're not supposed to even be concerned that they might have ulterior motives. When you know some bad people have probably boarded those planes.
Well, yeah,
right?
we already
know
had
that
one at Dulles.
Yeah, we had the rapist. Wasn't he a killer too? He raped and murdered somebody.
I don't know, but I know that's one flight that you don't have to worry about wearing a mask on. Is these evacuation flights out of Kabul? Cheryl Atkinson tweeted out last night, were those packed evacuation flights with no mask super spreader events? If so, what's the death toll? And who's responsible for not having or requiring masks? And if not, then why do the rest of us have to wear masks on planes?
It's a great question.
Thank you, Cheryl Atkinson.
Oh, man. By the way, we've got this schoolgirl now who's urging teenagers to get vaccinated. But when you get vaccinated, don't forget, that's not enough. You also need to wear your mask. So you get vaccinated and stay masked up, and then maybe we can survive this thing.
Wait, Joe Biden said mask or vax.
Yeah, he did, didn't he, at one point? And that went away, too. But this 17-year-old is urging other teenagers to get vaccinated after COVID put her in the hospital just 3 days after she had her first jab. So I guess she wasn't quite immune yet, right?
Wait.
Yeah.
No one's ever immune.
Wait. That's sadly true.
No, so she got the jab. She got really sick. And yet be sure to get it too.
So she was hospitalized with a blood clot in her lung.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
3,000% increase.
Oh, my gosh.
In teenage male myocarditis. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cases observed following COVID-19 vaccinations. So, and that's an underestimate, they think.
The 3,000%?
Increase, yes.
That's crazy.
I don't know why kids are getting this at all. Don't do that to your kids.
Then I got this story from BYU Sports Nation host Spencer Linton. He's okay. So this isn't a story about BYU. It's about one of the BYU TV sports guys. He hosts a show called Sports Nation on BYU TV. But he finally he's been out for a few weeks, and he on Sunday night let everybody know why. It's because he has COVID-19, and it was a super severe case of COVID-19. Thought he was going to die. And he was vaccinated. Now, I thought the whole point of vaccination was to prevent the severe illness or death. And now we're hearing about people who are getting really sick, regardless of whether they're vaccinated or not. Now, he took the Johnson & Johnson, so it was just the one shot, so I don't know if that's why, but he goes on to talk about, his shot and how he just suggests people try to avoid this whatever way you want. And, he talks about how he's all about your agency and your freedom of choice and all of those things. But here's what he says at the end. And this is what you struggle with, I think. He said, I empathize so much with those who have been negatively affected by this, including the millions who have died or have endured loved ones dying. Stay safe. I genuinely wish you good health and happy days ahead with this pandemic. But he says it's really a difficult thing to wonder, did he get vaccinated for no good reason? Or did the vaccination save his life? And I guess that's what you're left with is, okay, I got vaccinated like everybody says, I wore the mask like everybody says, and I still got severely sick, wound up, where I couldn't breathe, and all of these lung problems. I've been on oxygen for 2 weeks, and I was vaccinated. So did that keep me from dying, or did it just do no good? And there's no way to tell.
But he's saying you should make your own choices.
Yes.
Well, imagine that.
What?
Someone saying that you should decide, not be compelled by a government or your employer.
What a concept.
Or a school. Wow, that is fascinating. By the way, at least 14 Israelis that we know of who received a third COVID shot contracted COVID-19.
Oh, my gosh.
2 have needed hospitalization. The country recently launched the new drive to give third booster jabs to its population. And don't forget...
And people have already done it, and they've already contracted COVID again.
Yes. So they've had 3 shots. And yeah. By the way, this is making the rounds as well. The head of bioethics at the National Institutes of Health.
Yeah.
That's the area that gives FDA approval to pharmaceuticals. The head of that department is married to Dr. Fauci. Her name is Christine Grady.
Oh.
That's been making the rounds on the old socials.
Okay.
For what that's worth.
Just another little thing to consider.
Good day.
There's just quite a few things to consider during this pandemic, aren't there? Let me tell you about Rough Greens. This is something you should consider for your dog's health. Your dog could be much more active. If they're a little lethargic and they've been that way for a while, it might be because they're not getting the essential vitamins and minerals and probiotics and omega oils in their diet because you're using the dry kibble dog food, which has all of the good stuff baked out of it in the sterilization process so that it can last on the store shelves in the grocery store for 2 or 3 years. But Rough Greens puts back all of that good stuff into your dog's diet. Plus, they love this stuff. It's like a little doggy crack to them, or doggy chocolate, maybe. Might be a better way to look at it. But you never know if your dog is... I mean, my dog loved it from the beginning. So did Glenn's. So did Stu's. Keith's dog's not so much. So you want to see if your dog is like mine or like Keith's. And you can do that with a free bag of Rough Greens for your dog to try out. Just a small little bag that you can try out for a few days. And then if they love it, then you can get more. If not, then you haven't lost anything except the shipping cost. All you have to pay is the shipping, and then they'll send you that free bag. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFF greens.com, or call 833-ROUGH-DOG.
Point of personal privilege.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pat Gray is here, and he's unleashed. Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Okay. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Brian Moore tweets, I say Biden's done a great job winning the House for Republicans in 2022. Yeah, let's hope so. If people don't forget, Brian Raines tweets, I think VP Harris would fight back against Biden's handlers. So if she took over, it might be a little different because she would want to be in charge. This would cause internal chaos within the Dem establishment. Unlike Biden, who's been easily controlled.
Okay.
She'd still be awful, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vaccinated test dummy. Saying we have freedom to choose what's best for our health will soon be labeled as misinformation. Yeah, it pretty much already is.
Yeah.
We're kind of there already. We were talking a few weeks ago that somebody should start an employment board, a job board where you didn't have to be vaccinated in order to be employed. And someone did.
I love it.
Somebody actually did it. No Vax Mandate Job Board. So you go to novaxmandate.org, and they say, we believe that no right is more sacred than the right of every individual to control their own person, free from all restraint or interference of others. This job board is for open positions at companies who align with our values and don't force you to get vaccinated.
Yeah, I've been there. So if you type in a keyword for the kind of job you're looking for, then all the posts that have that word in it will pop up. And just know going in, these are employers that don't require a vaccination. And so we'll post this at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. But if you want to go there directly, it's novaxmandate.org.
Yesterday, we told you about a Cook County judge, a judge in Illinois, who ordered that a woman who wasn't vaccinated not see her child, her 11-year-old child, took away her visiting rights. Her rights as a mother were taken away because she wasn't vaccinated. Well, that got a lot of publicity, to the point where the Cook County judge who took away her rights gave them back. She apparently will be able to see her 11-year-old son after all. Rebecca Furlett and her ex-husband were in a child support hearing when Judge James Shapiro asked if she'd been vaccinated. I mean, out of the blue. It hadn't even come up in court to my knowledge, and he just brought it up. When she said she had not, that she's reacted badly to other vaccines and is under medical orders not to get the shot, Shapiro suspended her parenting time until she demonstrates sufficient proof to this court of vaccination against COVID-19. Well, because I got so much publicity, and he got some blowback from that. I guess he has now opened it back up where she can see her child without being vaccinated.
Yeah, apparently the way he wrote the order, though, is kind of leaves the door open for the dad to bring it up if he wants to.
Jeez.
So if the dad does that, it sounds like...
Could shut the door on her again. Crazy.
Unbelievable.
Just crazy. Also, a student at the University of Tennessee was dragged out of the classroom by police.
Because he was going to blow up the place or murder people? Or
no. He didn't even have a level 2 lookalike firearm.
No?
Like that. He wasn't wearing a mask.
Oh no.
Yeah. Here's what happened. Burly police officer comes in.
And the cop even says, look, I agree with you.
Yes, sir. I 100% agree that you have done nothing wrong.
I 100% agree you've done nothing wrong.
But they have every right to ask you nothing.
But they have every right.
Coming with me.
Oh, okay.
And look at his classmates laughing. They think it's so funny. He's handcuffed in the middle of the hallway there. Yeah.
And dragged out of school, even though he had every right. And the cop agreed with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least our elected leaders, though, they're setting the example, right? Like Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. Do we have time for this?
Yeah,
Can we show? Yeah. Here's Nancy Pelosi at an event.
Oh, look at all the Democrats, prominent Democrats, gathered around the table.
No one. And no one has a mask on.
The servants sure do.
Okay. Yes, the servants actually do.
There we go.
That's amazing.
There she is, Nancy,
with no mask. Huh.
Huh.
That's fascinating. Because I thought, you needed the vaccination and the mask. Because the science is settled on that.
Pat Gray. Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh my.
Some other time.
Just so agonizing. I can't take it.
I know.
I can't take it. People who used to be at different media groups that are now at some other media group.
Like maybe on TV
Maybe
right
on, CNN-ish.
Oh, okay.
Who've completely flipped their political affiliation, apparently, and now are talking about the lies that are coming out of the right-wing media. Oh, okay. All right. And the lies from Trump, and there's no consequences. But we don't talk about the lies from this administration, where they can't even tell the truth about dogs, let alone what's going on in Afghanistan.
It's amazing how your principles change.
Isn't
when
it?
It depends on who's signing your paycheck, Pat.
It's just incredible to me. Wow. That person didn't start out that way on CNN.
No.
But wow. Guess they drank the Kool-Aid completely now, huh? All right. Well, good. That's great. That's wonderful. Hope they're making a lot of money doing that. 888-900-3393. And at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. I guess the meeting with the Gold Star families whose Marines were just killed in that explosion last week, I guess that didn't go real well. The families did not appreciate what was being said. Yesterday, we played some audio of Riley McCollum's mom. Riley McCollum was a Marine who died in Afghanistan last week. And here's an excerpt from the Washington Post on meeting President Biden at Dover. One of McCollum's sisters, Royce, said she and her sister and her father joined McCollum's wife, Jenna McCollum, on the trip. But when it came time to meet with the president, they left the room because she said they didn't want to speak with the man they held responsible for his death. Makes sense. Only Jenna, who was expecting the couple's child next month, stayed. But she left disappointed. Royce, her sister, said. The president brought up his son, Beau, according to her account, describing his son's military service and subsequent death from cancer. It struck the family as scripted and shallow, a conversation that lasted only a couple of minutes in total disregard to the loss of our Marine. You can't F up as bad as he is and say you're sorry. This did not need to happen, and every life is on his hands. Then there was another, one of the fathers of the Marines lost that said the same thing, basically, that all he talked about was his son.
Yep.
And apparently this father said, I think this is more about my son right now, Mr. President. And maybe what you could do is learn the stories of these Marines. I did learn the stories, is what he apparently came back to the father with, and got belligerent. And so it did not go well. But that's who he is. And that's what we're faced with. That's what we're up against right now. It's despicable. It really is despicable. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The state mask bans, like Texas has a ban against the mandates. Well, now that's facing federal civil rights inquiries. Wait, what? So my civil right to be forced to wear a mask.
Yeah, because you're not safe if you're not forced to do something.
I see. So I can't just do it on my own.
No.
With my civil right.
No.
I have to have the civil right that I'm forced into wearing the mask.
Yes, unless you are compelled by threat of force.
That's interesting.
Then you're not safe.
Because the Education Department announced Monday they're investigating 5 Republican-led states with universal mask bans, saying the policies could amount to discrimination against students with disabilities on health conditions.
That makes no sense at all.
Sure doesn't. You gotta be kidding me.
Parental choice, apparently not a thing with the Biden administration.
They sent letters to education chiefs in Iowa, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Utah. Texas wasn't one of them.
Oh, why not us? Come on,
I don't
bro.
know. I'm a little disappointed.
Ken Paxton loves these fights. Let's go.
He almost always wins them, too, which is great. Those states have barred schools from requiring masks among students and staff, a move that the department says could prevent some students from safely attending school. Well, no. Wear your mask if you want to.
Or stay home. Homeschool your kid if you don't like the policies in your state. Come on.
It's simple. It's simply unacceptable that state leaders are putting politics over the health and education of the students they took an oath to serve, according to Education Secretary Miguel Cardona.
Go away.
The department will fight to protect every student's right to access in-person learning safely.
Make it stop.
It just doesn't even make sense. They're not even making sense anymore.
Do you ever get the feeling, as someone who watches Loki, right? You enjoy that show.
Mm-hmm.
You ever feel like we're on one of these timelines that's just out of control? We got to get back to the real timeline.
Yes, it does feel that way.
But there's this one school though that one of your audience members sent us the lyrics. They're teaching kids a new song.
Well, it's a face mask song to the tune I've been working on the railroad.
Look at this.
I will always wear my face mask all day long at school. Jeez. I will always wear my face mask. It shows that I'm so cool.
Oh, does it?
Masks help everyone stay healthy. Teachers, friends, and family.
Yeah.
That doesn't really work, does it?
No, it does not.
I will always wear my face mask. It helps us stay germ-free.
Germ-free is 2 words, I'd like to point out. And the tambourine couldn't even help that out at all.
That's beyond help. That's
brainwashing.
Yet another reason to homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
You know that homeschooled kids, the numbers of homeschooled kids increased. In 1970, the number was 13,000 kids.
Okay.
13,000.
Nationwide, huh?
Nationwide, 13,000 kids were homeschooled.
Yeah, you were definitely different. If you chose to homeschool 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That was an unusual selection.
So it's gone from 13,000 in 1970 to 5 million in 2020. And it's probably more than that now. But now the stigma is kind of gone. You know, these aren't kids wearing mismatched clothes or Pioneer outfits.
Pioneer outfits.
They're not weirdos who cling to their mommy when other kids are around.
Right.
When they're 17 years old. And they have to hide behind their mom when other kids are around. These are well-behaved, highly educated, mature kids who outperform their peers, by the way, by a lot in public schools. Yes. And the thing is, with 5 million now, there's all kinds of resources. If you want to do this, if you think it might work for you and your family, the resources available now, as opposed to 50 years ago, are incredible. All kinds of aids online. You can do co-ops. There are manuals. There's entire curriculum. There is curriculum that ties in Christianity if you want to do that.
Right.
It's just, there's a plethora of help if you want to do this and get your kids out of the mire.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have to, jam the mask over their face so they can't breathe all day long. You don't have to have them propagandized at school.
Gosh, yeah. If for no other reason, let's just say you have no confidence in your abilities to teach. First of all, you're selling yourself short because, like you just said, plenty of resources, plenty of co-ops, and ways to get assistance in educating your children.
Yep.
But just getting them removed from this cesspool that crams CRT, hate yourself if you're white, down their throats, the transgender insanities, the climate change hoax bullcrap that they're getting fed on a constant basis.
Yep.
I mean, just to get them out of that alone is worth it. My gosh. Oh,
Sure
and they can
is.
breathe freely at home, by the way. If you're in a school where they're forced to wear masks and do a zombie walk like we saw the other day.
Ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous.
It's so worth it. No one is going to be more invested in your kids' future and their education than you.
And they're not going to, just the anti-science stuff that just continues to be poured out on top of them. Like, right now they're talking about how climate change is fueling hurricanes like Ida. Wait, I thought that we weren't supposed to confuse weather with climate. Climate is something that happens over a long period of time, year after year after year. It's not Ida, the hurricane. It was brought on by climate change. That's just it's asinine, and it's not true, and it's not science. And I noticed that nobody was saying that during the 12 years between any kind of hurricane, major or otherwise, making landfall in the United States.
Huh.
From, what was that, about 2008 until...
just recently.
Yeah, until recently, until just the last couple of years, and when we've had another cycle where hurricanes are starting to hit us again. But it will calm down, and then we won't get any for a while. That will happen too. I mean, it was right after, actually, the Hurricane Katrina and An Inconvenient Truth, where Al Gore claimed that hurricanes are going to be more frequent and more intense, that they stopped being frequent or intense. So, whatever fits their agenda, if it's not talking about hurricanes, then that's what they do. And that's what they did for those 12 years.
Yeah, and you'll recall that if a hurricane loses its hurricane status, then they just change the name. They rebranded a superstorm, as was the case with Sandy.
Right.
Superstorm.
Because then it still sounds really scary.
Right.
You know, it still sounds really scary.
We didn't used to have storms until, global warming and stuff.
Right. Well, we didn't have superstorms, Keith. That's a brand new thing, the superstorms.
Yeah, that's right.
Then we also find out about Social Security being racist, and so is the Billboard music chart. We'll tell you about that in just 1 minute. First, I could also share with you a way that you can save a whole bunch of money.
Oh, I like that. I like saving money.
Still get really proficient with your firearm. And I know you have this, Keith, in your house as well. It's the iTarget Pro system, where you replace the bullet that would be in your gun normally with a laser bullet. And so that shows you where your shots land on the target.
So cool.
It also makes the shooting of your gun safe in your house.
Yeah, because you set up your phone across the room or wherever you want it, and then you go and look and see how you did on the target. It's so cool.
Really cool. And really fun. And, if you can even get ammo, it is so expensive now that, geez, you just can't afford to do this very often. And then go to the range and pay the range fees and all of that. iTarget Pro will take care of itself in like a day. It will pay for itself. You use their proprietary app, load the laser bullet into your firearm that comes in all different calibers, including .223 for your AR, so you can stay sharp with virtually any firearm. Go to itargetpro.com, save 10%, plus get free shipping when you use the offer code PAT. It's itargetpro.com, offer code PAT.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh, you know what? We didn't mention earlier in the week that I couldn't believe, but they granted Sirhan. You know who he is, right? The assassin who killed Robert F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
They granted him parole. 77 years old, and they released him from prison now. I guess 54 years was long enough when you killed, somebody. Although they say there was a second shooter now. Are you aware of that?
I think I did hear that at one point.
Yeah.
A long time ago. What's the...
I don't even understand how that could be a question. They were all right there.
Yeah.
It's not like he was shot from a great distance. He was shot right in the back of the head. And they claim that, first of all, I think he was coming towards Sirhan, and so the shots in his back make them wonder if there was a second shooter. But a lot of people think he just turned around after he was shot the first time and then got shot in the back of the head. But it's bizarre because wasn't Sirhan Sirhan tackled by, was it Rosie O'Greer? You know, he was a Los Angeles Rams.
That's right. Yeah.
Defensive tackle, Rosie O'Greer.
Because they were what? They were cutting through the kitchen of the hotel there before speech.
And Rosie Greer was a big fan of RFK, and I think kind of a bodyguard, kind of went with him wherever he went, and certainly when he was in town, he hung out. And it seems to me, he was the one that tackled Sirhan Sirhan, right? And in fact, there was talk that he broke his thumb taking the gun away from him or something. So I don't know how you could not be sure that he's the shooter.
Yeah, RFK Jr. does not believe it was Sirhan Sirhan.
Yeah, he believes in a second shooter, right? Of course, he also doesn't believe you should ever be vaccinated for anything. So
that's fun.
Yeah, that is fun, isn't it? I love that he's an anti-vaxxer because there's nothing more kooky to the left than an anti-vaxxer. Well, here's a guy on your side.
Yeah, they love this guy.
Who's against every vaccine. So, yeah, like he doesn't even want you to get a tetanus shot. So take that for what it's worth. But,
so did I hear correctly that Bobby Kennedy has 11 kids? Is that right?
11?
Yeah, let me see. Hang on,
I don't know.
Hang on.
That's news to me. Tell you that. 11 kids. Wow.
Yeah, and some.
So is it true?
Some didn't want Sirhan Sirhan release. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Children. My gosh, 1, 2, 3. I mean, yes.
It's a lot.
Yes.
11 kids.
I can't count to 11, but it looks like 11.
And was the entire family okay with Sirhan Sirhan?
No.
Being released? I know 2 Kennedys spoke out for him, right?
Yeah. I think some didn't want him released, but nobody bothered to show up. I think no one was moved to go and testify against him at this hearing.
Douglas Kennedy, who was a toddler when his dad was gunned down in 1968, said he was moved to tears by Sirhan Sirhan's remorse during a parole hearing. I'm overwhelmed just by being able to view Mr. Sirhan face to face, he said. Jeez, I'm pretty sure I'm not calling the guy who killed my dad Mr. anything.
Right.
I think I've lived my life both in fear of him and his name in one way or another, and I'm grateful today to see him as a human being worthy of compassion and love. And so he's out now. That is something else.
Let's see. Former Congressman Joseph P. Kennedy is not on board with this recommendation by the parole board.
Wow. That's fascinating. All right. Not quite as fascinating, though, as Social Security being racist. 2 elements of Social Security contribute to racial inequality. One is that the system rewards marriage. Okay?
Okay.
And what? Minorities don't get married? Is that what
I don't know what that means.
Is that what we're saying now?
Weird. That's what we're saying. Yeah, everything's racist.
They can't get online. They can't get a driver's license. They don't know where the DMV is.
Right.
And they don't get married. Man, wow, they've got some weird lives, I guess.
That's interesting.
The other thing is that it rewards longevity, and black people get overcharged on both scores. So, wait, black people don't live as long as white people? Is that a fact?
I guess so.
I think that is a fact.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's racist, so that death is racist.
You know what?
Death is racist.
Thank you. Somebody had to say it.
It had to be said.
I don't care what the justification is. If that means we're getting rid of Social Security and you get all of your paycheck, cool.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, whatever.
Would that be great?
Yes, it's
and
racist.
And then let me save whatever I will from my paycheck that you gave me all of.
Whoa, the next thing you're going to suggest is that people decide for themselves if they're going to get vaccinated or not.
Yes, that is the next thing I'm going to say. People should decide for themselves whether they're going to get vaccinated or not.
This guy over here.
Crazy.
Wow. No, but whatever it takes. Crazy. It's racist. Yep.
Well, and so is music Billboard charts are racist as well. We find out from this woman.
Oh, no.
Since I'm getting into music data stuff, let's talk about racism in the Billboard charts. So,
okay.
The Billboard charts are determined by all these streams that come from different streaming services. However, a paid stream on Spotify or Apple Music counts more or is weighted more than a stream off of a free service like YouTube or SoundCloud. And data shows us that the people who are using YouTube and SoundCloud come from areas that are more black, more brown, and more poor. I mean, I can definitely attest that to my mom would never pay for me to have a music service. So this means that the charts, which are determining what's more culturally significant,
pause it for a second. Okay, so what have we learned about minorities now?
The list is getting longer.
Okay, but they don't have ID.
They don't have ID.
They don't know where the DMV is.
Right. They don't get married.
They don't get married.
What was the other one?
Oh, dang it.
They don't know how to find the CVS, the Walgreens
They don't.
for
No.
a vaccine.
Okay. Wait, there was one here. Oh, yeah, they don't get married. They don't live as long.
All right.
And they don't have Spotify.
By the way, this girl is a leech off of her mom. Well, my mom's never gotten me a music service she paid for.
Yeah, get a job.
Right?
Get a
You're
job.
on here
Unbelievable. All right, let's hear the rest of this really interesting theory.
Really significant, care more about what certain audiences listen to than other audiences, and they don't mean to be racist, but that's how it plays out. This is why, for example, you never see NBA Youngboy on the Billboard charts, even though he's huge on YouTube. Similarly, we didn't start seeing trap music on the Billboard charts until like 2018 with the Migos, even though we know that trap music has been around for far longer than that, but it was primarily streamed by black and brown communities on YouTube and SoundCloud, and wasn't yet evangelized, aka colonized by white people yet on Spotify.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
White people have colonized Spotify.
I can't.
Get a life.
I just can't.
Thank you.
All right, I got to look at the Billboard, the racist Billboard chart.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
To show you how racist this chart is and how there's only white boys and girls on this chart. Who's Kid Laroi? Is that a whitey? Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber. So I'm guessing that might be a black guy and a white guy together.
I don't know. I will get
number
back to
one.
You. No, they're both white.
Oh no,
that's right.
Okay,
Number
one.
making their case.
Number one, whiteys, two whiteys. Then you have Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran, white.
White.
Good for You by Olivia Rodrigo. I'm guessing Latinx, Hispanic.
Yes. Looks like it. Yeah.
Okay. Kiss Me More. Oh, those are both black girls. Right?
That's their name.
Doja Cat featuring Ja.
I don't know if we're doing.
I have all of Ja's stuff.
I'm so lost.
Ja's early works are among my favorite.
Ja.
Really. Yeah.
I don't know if we're saying titles of songs or
Kiss Me More is the title.
Okay.
Doja Cat featuring Ja, the artists.
Okay.
So they're both black.
Okay.
Okay. So we got.
So kind of an even
we're tied
mix
so far.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Which the tie goes to the minorities because percentage-wise, right? That's more.
Okay.
Number 5, Industry Baby by Lil Nas X and Jack Harlow, black. Number 6, Levitating, Dua Lipa. Levitating, okay. I don't know.
Lipa?
Is that Hispanic?
Hold on.
I'm not familiar with Dua Lipa.
Yeah, she looks Hispanic.
Hispanic. How dare you say she looks? What does a Hispanic person look like?
I don't know, because we're pressed for time.
Then we've got Butter by BTS. No idea. Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo again. Wow, she's got 2 songs in the top 10.
Oh, well, you gotta you gotta spread that out. Give it to somebody else. Give that other spot to somebody else.
Montero by Lil Nas X again.
Oh boy, you gotta give that one up.
The Weeknd and Ariana Grande. I'm telling you, the whole stinking chart is minorities.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.